Alright, I wanted to showcase what I've been doing with buttons script from EasyF first person editor. So basically we have the procedures and the buttons, and someone in the YouTube video ended up telling me that you have to use Alt, and by using Alt like I did right now, which you can't see the script in a moment, but I'll show the script in a moment. It prevents it from moving forward when you click, when you press center or any other key. So the only way to move or do anything is by pressing a button. And each one of these buttons is tied to a different procedure. Leave is map return to with play sound. And buy is using an if command, custom if command I made when you need a certain amount of horde in order to buy a specific item, and then it gives you a specific amount of stats which is related to the item as well. So buy, you buy the item, and you can see that it increased my hit points by 5. This increases my speed, so I'm a little bit faster. This scales, and this hit points. If we go back here, let me go over here, easy FPS editor. I'm gonna show you how I did this. I have procedure by, which is the if, and I have a variable for global horde, and it has to be above or equal to 12, and then you have to open parentheses, sound by, play sound. It does global dot horde minus, so it subtracts 12, which is what you need in order to buy the item. And then it increases the variable player power, which is tied with my weapons, and my HP, which is this variable that on every level on the start, it basically changes. Yeah, it checks what your maximum stat is, and it sets up your maximum HP to this value automatically. And you can see here it sets maximum HP and set HP on the item itself. So it changes immediately when you get it. And this is on purpose, because if I want to have this item as a pickup on a map, I could literally just take this if off and just have it play a different sound when you pick up the item. So you get a permanent upgrade while you're in a dungeon or something. It's a possibility. And then I have map return to, and of course entity delete me, so it deletes the item, because once you get it, it's gone, or else it's going to keep looping and giving you the same stat upgrades over and over again, and it doesn't stop. And then you have this semicolon here, because when you have more than one procedure, so you have 2 procedures at the very least, you need this for each procedure that you end up adding, except on the end, you don't need this. And on the other one, the procedure leave, sound click, play sound, map return to, because that one is going to return you to the map, which is going to make it so you exit that script, basically. Now, the other important parts are the images. They're simple buttons, they're done in a row. You have the buy, 3 variations of buy. You have the buy that is normal, buy highlighted, and the buy that is sort of faded, and then the leave is the same thing. Each one of the buttons is using the button 1 for the buy, button 2 for the leave, and this is done so it's on top of the visual novel text box. And on the text, it just gives you useful information about the description of the item. I'm even thinking about, on the image that I have of the item itself, not have the text there, because showing it on the box itself is probably better, and I could have the item a little bit further up so you can see it better. But yeah. And then you have the halt here, which is very important, because if you don't have this here, if you click or press enter while this text is showing, it's going to keep scrolling and it's going to skip the buttons. So by having this here, you make it so it stops, and the only thing that's going to move it forward is by closing the actual game or by clicking the buttons. So you can make a buy, you can make a talk, you can make a rumor, you can make all sorts of buttons, like a personal like interface that calls these different procedures depending on what you want to do. I am thinking that maybe like an NPC could have just a talk, but maybe you could have like a help button, so it just gives you like some random tips or whatever, and it keeps cycling between them. And then it can use like a variable where it keeps going up, and then it goes back to 0, so it keeps going through all the different texts the character gives, and you can do all this crazy things with the procedures. These procedures also need to always be the first part of your script. They need to be on top and then everything else. Otherwise, it's gonna cause problems. This is also a thing that I recommend you to do because it's also said, if you check the wiki, you need to have the procedures always as the first part of the script. So just do that. In general, everything will be better organized that way as well. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show.